Let's all go to court.
What's up everyone, this is Migs and welcome to the Far Side. Here's my breakdown of the She-Hulk clip and some of the other footage they've released so far. They confirmed some info on the characters in the series and may have dropped a tease on Hulk's possible solo outing. The series premiere is almost here and Marvel's getting crazy on the marketing. They did confirm that this series is more lighthearted and comedic, like a law show's supposed to be. Anyway, it's 30 minutes long and they confirmed that there's going to be a lot of cameos. Looking at this latest trailer, we'll get one from a popular MCU movie. Let's break it all down. Let's go.
Very good.
Just trying to show you how it's done.
I'm shown.
The scene starts with Jen and Bruce inside a car in conversation about Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. Jen says that Cap was frozen in ice and after being thawed out, he was too busy doing stuff like saving the world to, you know,
Do it.
Okay, it wasn't explicitly shown during the events of Captain America First Avenger, but we can infer during their time together of this possibility. We do have ample time in between events. Nonetheless, I think saving oneself for someone they love is embedded for someone like Cap coming from a more conservative generation.
You're gonna need a rain check on that dance.
Have to say it's not a bad thing, kids. In fact, I would argue that these old school values have elevated the MCU to become the popular mainstream brand that it is today, and made it possible for someone like Tony Stark to sacrifice himself for his loved ones.
I love you 3000.
Although we see the other side of this in the comics, Cap has a reputation of not being true to his conservative ideals, and may even rival the promiscuity of other known playboys like Tony Stark and Matt Murdock. Yes, you heard me, Daredevil has had a lot of action during his run, and it seems to be favoring his femme fatales. More of him in a minute. So don't let the OG persona deceive you. Steve's clean-cut old-school charm has entranced many women across the Marvel universe for decades, and was more than happy to deploy his little super soldier.
Ha
Speaking of sexuality, She-Hulk is no slouch on the proverbial bedpost as well. Wait till you hear some of the names on her list, which is a whole nother video on its own. I'll just say one thing, the Juggernaut. Enough said.
Captain America was a virgin.
Look out!
Moving on, next we see a familiar giant spaceship. This looks like the Grand Master's Commodore seen in Thor Ragnarok. It's the pleasure barge slash orgy ship. The last we saw this, it was hiking on top of the Statesman, the Asgardian refugee ship that Thanos destroyed in Avengers, and consequently this too was destroyed. Or so we thought. Point is, this might have been fixed and patched up by someone from Sakaar instead of, from New Asgard. It's highly unlikely it came from Earth. Early theories are either the Grandmaster, but he's left in Sakaar amongst the wolves, so to speak, or the most likely scenario is that this is someone looking for Bruce for a more personal matter. Let's explore. When he was in Sakaar doing gladiator stuff, Hulk, specifically during his off days, might have been cozy with one of the locals. He does have a semblance of cognition, in as far as he's not going bat crazy all the time, so some sexy time is not impossible. And to top it off, human Bruce does not remember anything that transpired when he was hulked out in Sakaar. In the comics, he marries Kaira the Old Strong, and sires a child by the name of Sakaar, a powerful gamma mutate like his dear old dad. So the theory goes that this ship carries either Kaira or a young Sakaar. We could further postulate that a slot within the Young Avengers is still open for a Hulkling. We can either see him in Secret Invasion or get retconned as the young son of Gladiator Hulk. We'll know for sure in a couple of days. So this surprise might not only have repercussions to the show, i.e. child support, but this can potentially set up a solo outing for a World War Hulk storyline down the road. Recent rumors pertain to certain legal documents that this is only possible for Marvel by the year 2023. The legal distribution rights as detailed in the contract have been in favor of Universal for 15 years since the release of The Incredible Hulk in 2008. So we might see some foundational story elements plugged into the show, and we hope we can finally get to see one of the most powerful versions of the Hulk rampage across the MCU in the near future. Then they reveal what her new origin story is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll deep dive into the main difference in a bit. Back to the footage of them inside the car though. From the looks of it, somehow Jen is able to save Bruce, as we can see him here unconscious beside her. The footage shows that somehow both their blood gets combined, then slowly Bruce's gamma irradiated blood infuses with hers, allowing her to become a Hulk. Apparently Bruce's injured arm also heals from this, but it's unclear as of the moment. This shows that Jen also has the gamma gene, as Bruce's blood is toxic to humans. We saw in the Incredible Hulk movie when an old man played by Stan Lee drinks it, he dies. Okay, a few things here right off the bat. Bruce getting injured like this without triggering his Hulk form is highly unlikely. I guess we can assume that he has more control now, being basically Smart Hulk, but his triggers would still be there. Going back to the first Hulk movie with Edward Norton, even having a higher pulse rate would be very dangerous. More importantly, the Hulk will protect Bruce instantly if he's in danger. He will not let him die or be seriously injured without him transforming to the big green guy, as he explains in the first Avengers movie. Going back to Jen's origin as depicted in Savage She-Hulk number 1, she was working against the mob trying to defend a gangster who had offered to turn state's evidence against said mob. There was a hit on her, she was shot and critically wounded. Bruce was actually with her when the hit was made, being in LA for a visit. He fended off the attackers and then broke into an office to treat her. Realizing she's about to die, Bruce made the decision to transfuse his blood with hers, saving her life. While she was recuperating in the hospital, the mob made a second hit, and that's the first time she transformed into the Savage She-Hulk. A mobster also named her, saying she's like a She-Hulk, as in a female version of the Hulk. Then she embraced it, saying that that's what she'll be. A Hulk! Emil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth as Abomination, is currently incarcerated in a special facility. We got a glimpse of him in Shang-Chi, fighting Wong in the Golden Daggers Club. Anyway, there's a scene where he transforms and Jen tells her to revert back right away. During his time from the first movie, it seems he turned a new leaf, so to speak, and created a self-help group of some kind. I'm sure this might be part of his act to be paroled, after which it seems Jen was successful and Emil is sent free and is able to lead his group.
And it sucks.
That is not how we work through our issues.
And we can see him right here along with She-Hulk attending with other D-list villains like Porcupine, Man-Bull, Saracen, and El Águila, most of which are Daredevil villains. Moving on, Titania was confirmed to be a social media influencer and styles herself as the strongest woman in the world. Once she was defeated by She-Hulk vaccine in court, she feels humiliated and causes her to hate Jen, and further leads to their bitter rivalry down the road. In the comics, she is given super strength by Dr. Doom in Battle World, which is part of Marvel's 1984 Secret Wars miniseries. She becomes taller and more muscular. She can even go toe-to-toe with other heroes like Thor. Out of everyone she faced, however, She-Hulk proved to be more than a match for her, sparking her hate for the Jade Giantess. As for Wong's connection to She-Hulk, he might be there in connection to a legal action against a magician character. We do see him in the theater of some kind fighting bat-like creatures. On the side of the stage there, a poster with the name Donnie Blaze can be seen, maybe in reference to Marvel's Johnny Blaze character, aka the Ghost Rider. We do have incantations, the Darkhold, and other dark magic stuff in the MCU, so this may involve suing the guy for using some form of forbidden magic. We do get a clear look at the new suit of Daredevil, although I doubt we'll see him in early episodes in the show. Jen looks geared up when they meet, so this might be after she accepts her superhero role. The yellow and red suit in reference of his first comic book outing in the 60s. To me, it's very similar to the one he wore during his Netflix run with a bit of color change. As for his role in the series, we know that Matt Murdock is a street-level lawyer by day, and he always looks out for the little guys. Jen Walters, on the other hand, being an employee of a wealthy law firm, may represent characters from the other side of the spectrum, so we might see these two clash inside the courtroom rather than come to blows as their crime-fighting counterparts. Well, that's it for this breakdown, guys. I'll be covering the entire She-Hulk series, so please consider a like and a subscribe if you like this content. Take care out there and see you on the next one.
That felt really smooth.
So in the pocket.